Yes, Doctor.
I stopped the screen share from Okay, so now as a coordinator from Mansoura University SU Lab, our partner in this project, he is a PhD student and assistant lecturer at Mansoura University. He is a co-founder for SU Lab, Urban City Unit Coordinator and Green Team Supervisor. He got a grant as a guest researcher in City Science Lab, Hafen City University, Hamburg. For 3 months and specialized in interdisciplinary research related to urban sustainability, energy and environmental simulation tools, 3D GIS city modeling, for example, and city information modeling. He participated in several architecture and urban planning competitions, 20 competitions entry with total 12 prizes and published work. So please, maybe I forgot to mention, I think we met for the first time like 10 years ago in Berlin. Yeah, I think that was the first time we met through also with the IIT cooperation. So Mohktar, please. Mohktar راح فين؟
Problem with the network because it's not moving.
Is it an internet connection? Yeah, the boost in net.
Yes, I think because it take too much time to sharing a screen from his laptop. So maybe it's an internet connection. I can call him. Just a minute.
There were, I think there was another question, but we can postpone it to the Q&A part. It's the first time that like we are almost on time. Still, so far. I hope no technical issues would cause any delay in our program. Amna is very happy and celebrating. Mohktar is back. Okay.
You are muted, Mohktar.
I shared my screen now, so
yes.
it's clear. Yes. My presentation titled Urban Planning and Academic Practice in Mansoura University. After the last 2 fruitful days, I made some changes to my presentation and decided not to speak about the challenges and the urban situation in Delta cities again. So I decided to focus on the process of planning, education, and research practice in Mansoura. So I structured my presentation in 2 main parts. The first part shows how students and courses in Mansoura University deal with urban issues in Delta region, especially in Mansoura city. And second part is about Urban City Unit, which is an initiative by SU Lab, Egyptian Sustainable Urbanism, which acts as a research unit. So the first part is our annual courses. We work with students in the elements and they study the main principles and main series of cities like Cable Lynch and the Garden Cities and so on. On the third grade, we work on the neighborhood and district scale and how to design a new neighborhood and also how to deal with existing communities on the neighborhood scale. And finally, on the fourth grade, the scale become more. They work on regional and city planning and even some studies on urban simulation. And also they have some optional courses related to landscaping and urban heritage. So the slide shows of students of the projects with different scales and different year of study. So I will focus in the next slides on the projects we had with students in the second semester in the third grade, which is dealing with existing cities and on the neighborhood scale. So our case studies are mainly from Mansoura city in this in the second semester in third grade, and every year we choose a certain area in Mansoura and to study and survey, analyze and develop. So this cumulative study will develop survey maps and studies for the whole city after, for example, 5 years and so on. And the question is, what are the skills that we from us to achieve? So we want from them to realize the area of study through livability and the perception of the urban environment. We want from them to interact with local communities and know what they want, what are their needs, problems that they are facing and suffering from, and to learn how to collect the data, how to make survey maps and to map the current situation and analyze it to produce applicable development scenarios. So the first skill is how to interact with local people, listen to them, to their needs and the problem, and how they visualize that in maps, pictures, as you see in the slides, and making video interviews with them, and even video reports like bar. And also we organize like a guided tour to the selected area with expert staff member. As you see here is the videos and documentation for the survey with experts and staff members. And this phase we are depending on GPS techniques like using Map My Track as shown in the right part of the slide. And it's a mobile application which is very useful in detecting accessibility and walkability through the selected area. And we also depending on georeferencing using Google My Maps for urban problems that students see by themselves or by interacting with local communities. The main goal here is to get an overview for the location of different problems and their distribution on site on the map. As you can see, each color represents a certain category like problems related to housing or streets or services and so on. And each point could be combined with a photo or a description for it. And the other benefit that you can export this data to a GIS platform. So you can see the selected district and how the students pick the points and write the problem and combined with photo. So it is make a good overview for students. Mainly the survey is done by students groups, and we have then several workshops with them to discuss and analyze how this data could be useful in the next stages and how this data could influence their decision and how their thoughts about intervention and the development scenario is totally changed before and after this phase. Next, due to the lack of data, we are asking the student to get a more detailed documentation for the whole selected districts by dividing the whole area to smaller ones among the student group, and each group had to prepare like an ID for each building and street through using Google form. For example, each building here you have the a Google form ID for each building. So the students survey the building and write its properties in the form. Then Google form can produce Excel sheets with all building and their properties, which is also very useful data, as it could be merged also into a GIS platform. And also the statistics and percentages that you can get from Google form are very useful and helpful for them to know what we are dealing with. So like indicators for next stages. And finally, you have the exhibition of all layers of data that we need by converting that into visual maps and posters using CAD programs and Photoshop Illustrator. And that makes us thinking about why we aren't using GIS platforms in this stage, in early stages with students, and develop the course curriculum, as we could use like QGIS as an open source platform instead of using Google Form, or by integrating it with the QGIS, for example. So we began to teach students the basics of GIS and how they could draw some features in QGIS platform, and how they could produce the previous maps easily and more efficiently. But we had just begun this step in the last Corona semester, the last year, and we are trying now to develop it in the next years. So we have like 2 workshops with the students about GIS basics and how to draw these features, and they already done some detecting some points like in this like services, the location of hospitals, for example, the heritage building, and to detect some points in the map so they can deal with. Then the students are analyzing the data, working on integrated SWOT analysis, including physical and social and economic aspects. Then they detect the priorities to develop to produce the development scenarios and solution to the case studies. So I will finish this part here as to describe the whole process. In my presentation, it will take a lot of time. So I think the rest of the process will be presented in the student presentations today, and they will show how after this survey, how they produce the development scenarios, and they will see that in their projects. So the next part of my presentation is about Urban City Unit. Urban City Unit is an initiative by ECU Lab, which is mainly focused on interdisciplinary research and cooperation in the field of digital urban application. First of all, I want to invite you all to visit ECU Lab site, where you can find our research projects, publications, activities, and our team. It is shartalab.com. And we have really many research teams dealing with different urban contexts in Egypt that we are working on through research projects or our research team contribution in their academic research. And this matrix shows that currently ongoing research in our unit, Urban City Unit, and we have 3 main projects working on. The first one on the right top is a funded partnership project by DAD, titled Understanding German Egyptian Cities by Machine Intelligence with City Science Lab at Haven City in Hamburg, in partnership with Tanta and Kafr Sheikh. That's their 4 months last year. The second project is Gamasa Urban Development Project with the local authority there, and we are supporting the decision making there and consultation, and it is a part of a Delta TU partnership project. And third project is a funded project by Mansoura University, titled GIS-based Smart Campus for Building Assessment, Mobility, and Urban Infrastructure, which aims to develop a 3D GIS database for Mansoura University campus as a smart campus. So you can see here that we are very open for more cooperation and making a bigger network to connecting all research efforts without working in separate islands. As our vision in Lab and Urban City Unit, as we establish Delta universities, Kafr Sheikh, Tanta, and Damietta, and the Delta region. And we have also with international universities, mainly from Germany, like TU Berlin, TU Gona, City Science Lab, or TU Munich, Bauhaus University in Weimar, TU Cottbus, Dessau, and Kassel, and also we have good connections. So we are upgrading our team with different continuous training and supporting with good infrastructure and capacity from funded research projects and the growing, and we are working. Before finishing the presentation, I just want to watch which we deal with. So we select a certain district in Gamasa called the 15 May districts and try to reach the local citizens there. And we asked them through social media and Facebook groups to interact digitally using Google My Maps to identify their problems, what they are suffering from, their needs, and also to mention the potential of upgrading from the point, from their point of view. Google My Maps is easy to use as you just write the description and upload a photo if you need, and also you can use it from mobile or computer or any device. But we also record a tutorial video for them, so and share this with them on Facebook. And the other people who couldn't use Google, we interact face to face with them. We make like survey, go through with them face to face, and I look in the maps. So we ask them what's the problem, and they may. So here is that online contribution on Facebook, for example, is as only a few people for them, and also they didn't teach to the decision makers maybe, or just the action to solve this problem, their problem. And feedback was really best for the lab shows points that but on they also this test to add routes, for example, and the location of these services in the map. And after studying the feedbacks, we find that many suggestions that they mentioned could be applicable according to the planning regulation and standard, and many problems could be solved by what they say. And also, we are developing a new interactive city application, which could be more easily in Google My Maps, like, for example, Cityscope project in Hamburg, developed by City Science Lab in Harvard City University, which allow participation from local citizens in the new projects. So this map show these points is done by the local citizens, and this area is named the Grasbrook area, and it's now under development. So the citizens told them that we need, for example, a route here, or bus stop, or we need here projects here is useful or not. So everything is done by citizens, and the urban planners then take their feedbacks and try to their needs. Otherwise, the government developed a general strategic plan, and that's why yesterday Dr. Hassan asked me to share the case study. So they developed a general strategic plan for Gamasa, and after they invited local cities to come and show them what. And really, the argument was very intense. There's a recorded video. Such I will share the video with you. I think the voice is, you can't hear the voice here. Could you hear the voice of the video?
ايوه مره ونص عند الشارع. يقول لك بيرجع القانون مره ونص عند الشارع.
شريف لو سمحت يا فندم ممكن تديني كيس يا فندم.
ايوه دلوقتي
مش هينفع. وصل دلوقتي هتفضل طول عمرها 4 ادوار؟ مش
يا جماعه معلش انا دلوقتي دوري ايه كاستشاري وانا بعمل الارتفاعات عشان بس ايه الموضوع ده ما يبقاش حاسس بنفسيتكم وحاسين ان
So I could share this video with you.
انا بقول ان انا عندي اشاره 20 متر.
Mainly things the problems that local citizens or the representatives should be integrated in the early phases of planning that would pave the way to develop the strategic plans compatible with the majority needs. So that's the problem, because the argument was really intense, and many people didn't agree with what they developed. So okay, I finished my presentation, and I hope you enjoy it, and invite you to participate in the first international student competition organized by EASY Leadership Project. And it's also a part of our agreement with Gamasa Mayor to develop a part of the waterfront in Gamasa and design and build a prototype small unit with local materials and the basic techniques. And so you can find all details for this competition on our site. And also TU Berlin Campus in Gona is a partner of this project at TU Berlin and Tanta University. And finally, thank you very much, and waiting for questions.
Thanks a lot, Mohktar, for keeping the time and for informing us about the activities that you are conducting currently in the EASY lab. Mohktar, are you here?
Yes, Doctor, I hear you. Thank you.
وبعدين حلوه حته الاعلان اللي في الاخر دي، يعني عملت اعلان على المسابقه. Yes, okay.
He's a part of the really at the and
yeah, as an
I really have
example
a bad connection for an internet.
Stop sharing video and stop sharing the screen. Maybe it improves.
Okay. Maybe also.
So part of the activities of ASU Lab is students competition, and I think this is one of the let's say different unique tools for education when it comes to exposing the students to a real case problem or challenge to be tackled. And the good thing about it that they have, I mean, we agreed on having this system as partners to include also like between TU Berlin and Mansoura, like teams. So this would be the idea of the competition. But I'm not sure if it's open, Mohktar, for other Egyptian universities. So it's Mansoura, Tanta.
Yes,
also?
it's open, but they have to all university, to all students, but they have to include in their team at minimum one participant from Mansoura or Tanta or TU Berlin or TU Berlin Gona.
Okay. I think you announced.
I don't know. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I've seen post for this convenes, right? So maybe yeah. So think about it. For the participants, you can think of forming.
هو احنا فتحنا يا دكتور الموضوع شويه للطلبه. حضرتك سامعني يا دكتور؟
ايوه.
احنا مع اخويا ممكن تشارك بس يعني يكون في التيم حد من جامعه المنصوره او طنطا او تيو برلين او تيو برلين الجون، يعني ممكن تيم مثلا من بره يشارك.
طيب هو بس في نقطه،
واحد من المجموعيه الاكبر عدد ممكن يشارك. والفكره الاساسيه فعلا يكون في مشاركه ما بين تيو برلين، يعني ان الفريق يكون متنوع، ما يكونش من مكان واحد فقط. يعني الفكره النتوركينج دي كانت اهم نقطه او هدف المسابقه.
حلو جدا. وانا بس كنت عايز اوضح نقطه، او يعني TU برلين الجونه هي جزء من TU، فانت زي ما انت كده بتتكلم على SU لاب وجامعه المنصوره مثلا، فهو المسابقه دلوقتي اي حد من TU برلين او من المنصوره او من طنطا مع اي حد تاني من اي جامعه في مصر، صح كده؟
تمام بالظبط.
تمام. طيب في اي اسئله طيب في كذا ده عرف.
حسن انا عندي سؤال بعد اذنك.
اتفضلي يا دكتور.
انا عايزه اعرف مشاريع الطلبه كلها at the details level or that يعني at the city level، يعني يعني المشروع اللي مختار شرحه اعتقد ان هو مخطط تفصيلي، يعني حاجه تفصيليه على مستوى منطقه. هل هم بياخدوا حاجه على مستوى مدينه؟
بالفعل يعني زي ما كنت شرحت في الرئيسيه، احنا عندنا في سنه رابعه اكتر بنشتغل على سيتي ليفل والريجنال بلاننج. في سنه ثالثه شويه بنشتغل على بننقل من مرحله الاربن ديزاين للاربن بلاننج عن طريق ان ناخد النيبرهود سكيل اند ديستريكت سكيل از بلاننج يونت. فده كان على سكيل ده في سنه ثالثه. في الترم الثاني في السنه الثالثه عامه بيشتغلوا على نيبرهود، يصمموا واحده جديده ازاي يصمموا او البرنسبلز التصميم الاساسيه على مكان جديد. وفي الترم الثاني بيشتغلوا على التعامل مع منطقه قائمه بالفعل، والمفروض بيخشوا مرحله شويه بالظبط. يمكن بعد كده بيتعاملوا مع الاربن نودز، بعد كده بيتعاملوا مع الستريتس، ازاي بيتعاملوا مع الهاوزنج. الحاجات دي كلها ان شاء الله في الجزء بتاعهم هيبداوا يشرحوه شويه.
ماشي، اوكي، ثانكس.
شكرا دكتورة.
في اي اسئله من الطلبه؟ any questions?
I have a question.
اتفضل.
Yeah, hello. Thanks for the presentation. I think I'm missing about how this dynamic works for the GAMSA project. I think the client is GBB. So how's the dynamics? Like this is a consultancy and it came to ISOLab or whatever Mansoura city, and then you were coordinating this between the requirement of the client of this plan with the student or the subjects that they are studying during the semester, or you already working and then you volunteer the data that the student collected to the consultant and then they included within their study. How this dynamic works, or you were coordinating this from the beginning?
So it is like a research project related to urban city unit in ISOLab, and we developed like agreement with mayor to do this process, act people in making decisions, and like the Mansoura, and I consider myself that I am from the citizens of Gamasa because I lived there for many years, and I met the mayor there several times, and we established this connection. And this we develop like we have research. In our research team, we have researchers that are working on this issue and the waterfront, for example, with the project Delta TU, and we prepare like this competition, and all the documents, the document data for this competition are from the urban city unit view. But it's totally different from the GUBB, what they did. It is a parallel track. The GUBB bought this strategic plan, and then after they finished it, they are trying to discuss it with people without taking their feedbacks in the beginning stages.
So
I hope yeah.
Questions from Salma. So she asked, using Google My Maps in your project, are the collected data saved online to Google, or is it saved locally on your device? What about the security of data? This is the first question. And she has another question. Yes, okay. So participation we saw in your video is very frontal. مواجهة شديدة. Why don't you work collaborative with the residents in a circle form, like participation? Mohktar.
So regarding the first question about Google My Maps, develop a more effective application like the Cityscope that they have done in Harvard City University, because Google My Maps have like limitations, and also you have to store data on your device every day or every 2 days, for example, because maybe people could change the other for other, and it's a problem in management. But these problems didn't, and also the season of 15 May is too low, because mainly low population. So no many participants is interacting. So we have a few people only interact with Google My Maps, so there's no problem to apply this on a large scale. Or for example, in Mansoura city, we will have more interactions, so we have to develop other city app for them. Maybe I reply for the question. And the second question is about what, Dr. Hassan?
About participation. Yani, according to the video that you have shown, there was a kind of conflict.
Yes, I show that this is that's what was the local authority there after they finished their general development plan. Then they invite people to like make a presentation for them and show them the decisions they make for the city. But our practice is different. We mainly take the no, it is out. I just attend the meetings like any citizen for the city, but not we didn't participate in it. And يعني فعليا انا اصلا معترض على شكل الممارسه او شكل العرض ده، يعني بشكل عام. هو يعني زي فرضوا بعض الحاجات والارتفاعات، وحتى بعض الحاجات هيتم ازالتها بسبب ان المخطط اتحط برضه بشكل غير مدروس، بشكل كامل على المستوى التفصيلي حتى، فبالتالي الناس بدأت تعترض وفي مشاكل حصلت في اللقاء يعني.
طيب في سؤال من فاطمة. فاطمة, can you say your question? فاطمة السواح from Tanta University. رو فاطمة هنا. طيب her question is so what is the other applications that you use to survey the residents' opinion in urban projects besides Google Map? انت قلت حاجة على الفيسبوك.
Cloud.js.
No. She asked about the applications that instead of Google My Maps. So we have agreement with مركز التقنية اللي هو information this center developing many systems for universities all over Egypt, and they sell it to the all universities mainly. So مركز التقنية is a more professional center here in Mansoura University, and we have agreement with them because they will develop with us like these city apps. Maybe it's also depends on Google Maps or OpenStreetMaps or any map dashboard or platform. But they like يبرمج يعني this app to be more secure and
program. Yeah.
data.
طيب thanks.
Yeah.
Lou, I think we can stop at the point.
هو الصوت قطع.
هنوقف دلوقتي ونكمل في السيشن اللي بعد كده.
اوكي
يعني دلوقتي 10 دقايق بس ديلي هناخدها من وقت الكويستشن اند انسر.
شكرا.
Okay, so thanks Mohktar. Now we shift to Dr. Heba.